Hey, welcome back to my channel, Best Practice Gaming. My name is Rob. Today I'm doing the last Morrison quest in the Morrison quest line here, so let's have a look at it. Cargo delivery. Bob from Morrison Mining here. We got a trailer full of tubing that needs to delivered to the factory. It's not like the guys at the factory don't have anything else to do, but I appreciate it if you double time it. Alright, that's easy enough. I don't like saying the words, let's see, what's the phrase that I hear used all the time? If I'm being honest, I don't actually like that phrase because it kind of makes me wonder about what was going on beforehand. So instead I'm going to use a phrase of, if I'm being fair, and this is more of the truth. I've never really used this truck in the game. I kind of just passed it up. It wasn't really my favorite truck. But driving around the dairy Longhorn has started to grow on me. And let's take a look at the inside before I use it. So I've got the trailer park valve right there, the yellow valve. There's not trailer park, that's the parking brake, the emergency parking brake valve for the truck right there. Sorry, I'm getting it all mixed up because this is like very late for me. And then of course I've got the emergency trailer park valve, the red one down there. So I mean, technically if you're releasing and hitting the emergency brake, you probably should be hitting those valves right there. You know, when they're pressed in, if I remember correctly, if they're pressed in, they should be filled with air, and when they're released, they shouldn't be filled with air. But instead, you got this animation here, like there's a handbrake. That's okay. The game is about driving trucks, but the little details are nice. Now, this truck does look like it's from the 1970s. There's definitely auxiliary gears right over there. I don't know what any of those do. There's a bunch of dashes on. There's a bunch of dash lights here. Then, of course, there's nice fans. So that I think the fans are like a really cool feature. This truck probably came out in an era before there was AC in trucks, which kind of leads me to believe it's a 1970s truck. I could be wrong about that. All right, let's get started here. All right, now this truck has diff and all-wheel drive automatically on, so let's get going here. We'll talk about this a little bit in the driver's seat here. So in the previous video I mentioned I passed my CLP exam, but I didn't pass the air brake or the passenger endorsement because I didn't study for those. I only planned on doing the CLP at the DMV, and my learning strategy on that was I went for an entire month. I read the commercial motor vehicles book for an entire month, the section 2 general section, and then I took a course on Udemy. I think it's Midwestern Shipping or Midwestern Trucking, which are really great courses. They also have air brake courses and dual trailer courses as well, if I'm remembering correctly. I watched all of that. I took all my notes. I reviewed all my notes. I continued to read the commercial motor vehicles book section 2 throughout the entire month. And then finally, yesterday was the day I went and tested for it and I passed the exam. Now, I couldn't get a card because if they issue you a card with just your commercial learner's permit, they'd have to do separate cards with the air brakes and passenger endorsements. They didn't want to do that, and I don't blame them. And of course, I didn't know about any of that. So that's something to watch out for in case anybody's studying for it separately. You want to go take your CLP permit or your CDL with all the endorsements at the same time. It's just a lot more learning. And that's actually really tough for me. None of that came easily. The book is very thin. If you look at the commercial vehicle book, all the information in there is condensed as possible, so you just have to remember it. So that's what I really struggle with. As to where my professional career is technology, hardware, networking technology, some development, you can do that over and over and over again and pick it up and just remember it and know it. That wasn't the case with the commercial learner's permit. I had to really study for that, and I had to really try to get that, and I struggled with it the first time, but I got it on my second time just by hunkering down and learning it. Now, what I'm going to talk about is technology in this video and how to get into it in case anybody's getting into it. And this is like basic level advice for adults, parents with kids who are interested in getting into technology, or kids who are interested in it. And I'm going to start with the hardware side first. So that's like A+, Net+, any certification, something along those lines. I just got to be careful because I'm driving at the same time here. Let's start with the hardware side. If you're going for any hardware certifications, the industry is at the moment that the manufacturers who issued the technology themselves, like Dell, HP, stuff like that, they have clauses where only they can work on the hardware. So you can go and get your A+, but somewhere along the way, you'd have to go get your Dell certifications or HP certifications to touch the hardware so it doesn't fall out of service repair with those companies. Now the A+ itself, at least the new A+ material, I looked over it during my time in August when I was practicing for the CMV test. The only thing that's really changed in it that I saw is that now there's a section on it on troubleshooting. It's heavy allergy season here where I'm at in Virginia. Even at night, it's terrible. So for the A+, there's a section on it on troubleshooting virtual machines. If you do like any Azure certification or AWS, you'll see stuff on virtual machines. But they've included that in the new A+ material that I've seen, that I've read so far. Net+ is Net+. It hasn't really changed all that much since the 1980s. Like the same protocols are still there. They're still in use. You just have to remember them. I think there's like 23 of them, if I remember correctly. So that's more of a memory game than anything else. Then there's security, and then there's a few other ones. So the hardware stuff, I'd say like maybe for like adults and teens and up, because it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of memory. Stuff that like little kids aren't going to really like latch onto right away. Now let's move over to the software and development side, and this is how I started software and development, because I do follow a couple of VTubers here because I like watching them. I'm not going to drop their names or anything like that, but I heard one saying that it could take like 2 years to learn developing and stuff like that. That could possibly be the case depending on scheduling, but what I did to speed that process up is I got a couple of books like Python for Kids, Ruby on Rails for Kids, C# for Kids, and I did those books first, and they're very small books. Those books have like 1 or 2 coding projects into them, not very difficult. And then eventually I moved on to medium level books. And then eventually I got like Python for gaming and stuff like that. I actually wanted to learn Python, so I'm going to talk about Python a little bit more. But that's how I got into development. I started at a very low resolution level with kids' books, and then I moved forward on that. That works for adults, parents who want to get their kids into coding and development, see if they take to it, or any kids who've got the discipline who actually want to do that. You can learn to code in Roblox, you can learn to code in Minecraft. I've seen a couple of kids' books on that. So that was my learning path for development. As far as the hardware goes, like hardware technology, networking technology, all that stuff like came to me instantly. So I had those certifications for a number of years. And then finally in 2008 with like the A+ certification, once they required people to pay for it like every 2 years, I just kind of let it run out. So you're much better off getting like Dell certifications or HP certifications, or looking at the company you're looking at and see which type of computers they're using and getting certifications with those brands. The A+ certification is pretty good. It can teach you a lot about customer service, how to work with technology, and how to work with users. But it's not as valued today as it was like in 2005 through 2010. And that's kind of my spiel on technology there, in case anybody's interested in getting into it. And of course, you can always drop a comment below and just ask me about it. I don't mind explaining any of this stuff. So with this new position I'm starting next week, I got to develop a career path in technology. That's gonna be very easy. I already know what I'm good at and what it is I'm gonna do. And that's because I don't want to do anything extra, because I'm doing extra work on the side with like the commercial learner's permit and trying to drive on the weekends. And then, of course, doing a few other things on the side as well. All right, this should be an easy drive. I just got to get it over to the factory. It shouldn't take that long. I'm going to drive in medium or low medium just for safety reasons. I'm going to take a moment here to talk about the Dairy Longhorn. I'm actually very impressed with this truck. I do like it. I do like its profile. It looks like a 70s truck. And so far, I haven't had any real problems with it. I've only been using it to tow around like these oil rigs and stuff like that. But so far, it's done very well. And then, of course, there's an active suspension there, so there's a wheel in there. And I've seen that wheel on the dump trunks that hold the garbage, probably because of the model, but I've never seen anybody actually use it in real life. I want to be really careful here. And that's why I wanted to be careful, because of it getting hung up like that. Okay, go ahead and back up here. All right, fantastic. We'll go in the lowest gear here for safety reasons. Now, technically, in the CMV book, you have to have your engine retarder on, and then you let your speed go up to the speed that you want it, and then you break it down to the 5 below the speed, which I think is really cool. I probably won't get a chance to test that, because the CLP is not for driving across country for me or anything like that. It's for another type of driving that I'm trying to do on the weekends, which shall remain unnamed. hopefully I can get around this. Oh, okay, fantastic. It's not getting hung up on anything. All right, that's it for the Morrison contract with the dairy Longhorn here. If you guys like what you're seeing, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the bell notification icon for Best Practice Gaming. And again, my name is Rob, and have a great night to everybody. Oh, before I forget, in the description below, there are links for a GoFundMe to help grow the channel. Have a great day to everybody.